I did not send out any invites this morning.
That's all right.
I mean, I'll do it after the show, but yeah, but far as live, I didn't do it. I had a lot going on this week, man.
I understand. That's why I said that's all right.
Yeah, it's not good here.
I know. Patty said she's thinking about you.
Yeah, man, I am. I almost didn't want to do the show. That's how bad it was.
I know. I get it. If we ever get to that point where we can't do a show, we'll have to put something up that just says,
Dude, man, we'll figure something out, man. Hey, man, like, the show must go on, man. I'm not letting nobody, man, take me out like that. She's just ignorant, man. Just ignorant.
I know.
It's Albert Prince Bell, 21-0, checking in, and you rocking with Keeping It Real Sports, and we gonna be on these. We gonna be here a lot of times. I love the platform. Check in. It's the new wave. Like, follow, subscribe, and do all that good stuff.
Sports.
Oh, it's Saturday morning, man. I'm feeling good. You're feeling good. We're looking good. I tell you, before we even get started, make sure you like, you subscribe, leave your comments in the comment section. We'll get to all of that. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm the real sports guy, Steve Taylor. He is the Sandman, Andy Sanzada. Sandman, talk to me, bro.
Steve Taylor, March Madness continues to be madness, and we're going to get into that here shortly. And
wow.
A lot of stories.
Has it been bad or what?
Yeah, it's been very entertaining, too, even though my bracket is complete shit right now. But,
totally busted. We should have kicked. You know what? We're the guys that told you Coach K was going to end this thing and win it.
Yeah, and we didn't pick him.
And shame on us. But, Andy, let's get right into what we call the quick hitter.
Quick hitters.
All right, Steve Taylor. Well, it's not often that during this time of year, tennis is our top story this week, but it is, and here's why. World number one, Ash Barty, decides to retire out of nowhere at the age of 25 years old. Three-time Grand Slam champion, current world number one. She couldn't lose in the last 7 months, Steve, and she's just walking away because she says it's time.
That's what she
know about
says.
that.
I
That's
don't
what she
either, man.
said.
I've been looking for the twist on this. I can't seem to find it. I mean, the chick was at the top of her game. It's hard to see you walk away from that. We were talking about that before the show about guys walking away at the top of their game. You brought up Barry Sanders. Well, hell, he wasn't at the top of his game at that point, man. He wasn't on top of the world. This chick was. Ashley Barty retires at number 1, and she knew she was gonna retire before she got out of the Australian Open. I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Something else should come out about that here soon. But we talked about March Madness, Steve, the last 2 nights. Everybody's brackets are busted. Here's why. First of all, the odds-on favorite, the overall number 1 seed, Gonzaga, is looking like that right now because they're sitting at home after being taken out by Arkansas. And now Arkansas will play Duke later on today in the Elite Eight. And then after that, the same night, Arizona on the other side gets knocked out by Houston in that outstanding defense. Calvin Sampson has his guys in the Elite Eight for the second consecutive season. Arizona was my pick. Gonzaga was yours. We're both out. But, Steve, maybe the biggest surprise yet happened last night. The first ever number 15 seed to make it to the Elite Eight. Cinderella continues on as St. Peter's takes down another odds-on favorite in Purdue. Everybody thought if one team could win it all out of the Big Ten, it would be Purdue. But St. Peter's said not so fast. And, you know, Shaheen Holloway played at Seton Hall, Steve. He's a really good basketball coach. He understands the game well, and he's got his guys believing in themselves. Who knows? Maybe they can get all the way to the Final Four after tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough road to hoe for them. But just going back, the Gonzaga, there were a lot of fouls not called in this game. It just seemed to me that, you know, it wasn't in the cards for the Zags this year. But getting to the Houston game, Houston is the team that nobody knows about. Andy, I told you about Houston. I felt Houston would beat Arizona. I picked Houston to beat Arizona. The defense is stellar. No one knows about this stellar defense. They will just be physical. The only reason I didn't pick them to go to the Final Four is because I know that Villanova can deal with that kind of physicality, and I picked Villanova to win that game. But I tell you, it's going to be a great game. Now, getting to St. Pete, what I'm looking at is the ability of this guy has a hockey squad. He did a hockey change last night, and just before a TV timeout, and I'm thinking, well, he's just going to do it for the TV. No, he did a hockey timeout. Did these guys go 10 deep? Their guards, man, guard very well on the perimeter. They are very physical on the perimeter. They will really get after you. They switch everything on top. Nothing cuts up under the ball screens. These guys dictate from the word go. Don't read the name on the jersey, people. St. Peter's is for real.
Yeah, and, you know, not often we do more than 4 quick hitters, Steve, but this week we had to, and here's why. Another huge story out of the world outside of the major sports. In the PGA, Phil Mickelson, for the first time since 1994, is not going to be at Augusta National for the Masters this year.
They told his ass not to come.
Well, a lot of speculation going around about some comments he made.
Ain't no speculation. You can't tell people, man, you're greedy. The people that feed you that you're greedy. No, They told your ass not to come. Get the hell out of here, Phil.
Yeah. Another retirement. We talked about Ash Barty at the top of the show. It's official. Triple H will never step into the wrestling ring again at 52 years old. He announced that he can never in-ring wrestle due to a heart scare that he had earlier this year. He said he basically has a defibrillator inside of him now. He wouldn't want to have that happen on live television. Doesn't want to take a chance. Is married to Stephanie McMahon, has a couple of kids. So I think he's doing what's best for he and his family. But hats off, man. That was part of my childhood as well. That era was something special with D-Generation X and the Attitude Era. It turned a sports entertainment world upside down. He's going to be missed, but understand exactly why he has to do what he has to do.
Look, Hunter Hearst Helmsley shouldn't have had his old ass in there wrestling in the first place. Go sit your old ass down and relax. RELAX. Relax.
Yeah. And the stories just kept on coming as the week went along. Kyrie Irving and the Nets. We talked about it last week in our head-to-head. I said full strength, Steve. They could win it. And not just win the East, but win it all. And now we find out that Kyrie Irving is going to be able to play all home games because they relaxed the COVID vaccine mandates. How you feeling about what I said now, partner?
Well, it's not that, because I figured they would. But the problem I have is the timing. The timing of it. Because, see, let me think. When did they lift this? Just before the start of baseball season, okay? No, you think that had a little bit to do with it? I'm just saying.
Yeah, for the Yankees and the Mets,
absolutely. Yes.
No question about it.
So, man, they can miss me with that one.
So there you go. A lot of quick hitters, but had to get them all in, Steve. We agreed on it. We did it. Let's get right into the hurry up because we got a lot more show to get into.
Man, there is so much to go around, and let's rock into it. What we call the hurry up.
Hurry up.
All right, we're going to kick off the hurry up this week, just like we did last week. The gift that keeps on giving, the NFL still coming at us with a lot of going on in the NFL free agency, not just free agency, but major trades. And let's start with the biggest one this week by far. Out of nowhere, Steve, Tyreek Hill no longer with the Kansas City Chiefs, over to Miami for a number of picks. Can Patrick Mahomes still be Patrick Mahomes without Tyreek Hill? We're about to find out.
We definitely are, but man, it's the thing is, Miami is loading up. And here is the story that you don't know that kind of broke last night that I'm going to get ahead of, okay? Because Tom Brady is trying to force a trade to the Miami Dolphins. And that is in the works. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm telling you people, they are working on a deal to get Tom Brady to the Miami Dolphins. Now, you take that one in.
Tom Brady goes to Miami, Steve. I think that they've got to be tied with Buffalo to be the favorites in the East, wouldn't you?
Jeez, man. If Tom Brady's there, damn tied, man. He's the GOAT.
Okay. All right. Their defense is still just, suspect. But
the defense wasn't the problem last year. They couldn't score points.
Yeah, but they don't have their defensive coach, Brian Flores, and we won't get into that.
That is true.
All right, another big one. Rival goes across the pond. Zadarius Smith leaves the Packers and joins the Vikings of all teams, Steve. A lot of teams, including your Rams, were looking at Zadarius, but he says, no, I'm going to go to Minnesota.
Yeah, you know what? The Zadarius thing to the Rams was more so me than anything else, Andy. Zadarius turned down a 4-year, $35 million deal to go to sign a shorter deal with the Vikings. Man, I tell you, the Packers are starting to fall apart, man. They ain't the Packers that finished the season last year.
No, and they just lost Martez Valdez-Scantling over to Kansas City.
He
went and replaced Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. Wow.
So Rodgers is gonna, he's got to be saying, okay,
we will find out.
Steve, they haven't drafted a receiver in 20 years. They have to now, right? I mean, they have to.
Right.
All right, so we're going to get into this one a little bit more in our head-to-head, but let's start it off real quick because it was a big one too. Matt Ryan goes to the Indianapolis Colts for a third-rounder. A third-rounder, Steve? That's it? There's no way in hell the Browns are getting that for Baker Mayfield.
Well, absolutely not. They're not. But the thing is, with Atlanta and Matt Ryan, Atlanta had publicly courted Deshaun Watson, who ended up going to your Browns. Matt Ryan wasn't coming back there. I mean, man, you can't publicly talk to another woman in front of your wife and expect to go home to your wife. That ain't gonna happen.
That's exactly right.
So he had to get the hell out of there. They got the best deal for that. We'll debate a topic more so than that when we go head to head. Matt Ryan. But yeah, man, they had to do what they had to do. I can't blame them.
And one of your Rams gets a new home as well. Bobby Trees off to Tennessee, Steve, in a trade that I think the Rams did him justice in. He wanted to go to Tennessee if he was going to leave L.A. He understands his position on that roster. Now he goes there and becomes an instant number 2 because they've got Brown. And there's talk that, they're not done as well. They picked up Austin Hooper after he was sent out of Cleveland. The question always remains with Tennessee, Steve. Can Ryan Tannehill finally get the job done? Because if he can, they could go to the Super Bowl with that roster. On paper, I'm saying if he can play well, they have the roster to get to the Super Bowl because Mike Vrabel's a hell of a coach. But I'm not trusting Tannehill until he proves otherwise.
Yeah. You know, the thing, the trade, going back to the trade of Robert Woods, Robert Woods was given the choice to pick his destination.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he chose Tennessee. That's how much respect the Rams have for Bobby Trees, where they called him, Sean McVay personally called him and said, look, you can pick your destination point. And that's what happened.
Well, you know, a lot of positives coming out of these trades so far, as well as all of that. Yesterday, the Browns introduced Deshaun Watson's press conference here in Cleveland.
Yeah.
All he said, Steve, I watched the entire 40-minute press conference.
Yeah,
all he continued to say was that he was innocent and that he will clear his name. We'll see.
He didn't back down off of it at all, man. He looked contrite, man, and the whole nine, but I want to believe him, but damn, Deshaun, 22?
Yeah, 22 is hard to
Damn.
overlap. And honestly,
Damn.
the media was not letting up on him at all. I heard that entire interview. I heard all of those questions.
Fox 8 news guy, man. I mean, you know, he's a tall, dorky guy, but damn, does he ask, man, powerful questions, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You can't dodge his questions, man.
No, you can't. And the other thing is, you know, a couple of the beat writers here in Cleveland continued to pounce on the number of women, not just the fact that it was a suit, but the number. You know, why do you need 40? Why do you know, where's the 22 coming from? Will there be more? Will there, will you settle with these people to get them to shut up? And Deshaun, was advised not to speak.
Hell no, he said, I ain't, man. But I think for this to go away, he's going to have to pay somebody. He's going to kick up some money. But the Browns did a great job at taking and minimizing his money. They pushed they back-ended a lot of his money. His first year is going to be literally for free. So if you do get suspended and you do settle, you got to settle for what he has and what he doesn't potentially earn. Man, I tell you.
And they were asked, Andrew Berry was asked, if for some reason he doesn't play again, is the team protected against that guaranteed money? And according to Andrew Berry, the language is in there that they are. So that'll be something interesting to keep an eye on as the news continues to progress with Deshaun Watson. But, I'll give Andrew Berry a lot of credit, Steve. He was so calm. And there were some really tough questions that were coming at him.
It was not fun.
But
it was not fun.
He remained extremely professional. He continued to say the right things, continued to phrase them correctly, and continued to protect him and Deshaun while doing so. Hats off to Andrew Berry and the Browns organization for how they handled that press conference yesterday. I thought they did an outstanding job considering the circumstances.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So, a lot to look forward to if you're a Cleveland Browns fan. Man, what else we got before we get to what we call head to head, where I get to tell you what's really going on around here.
I think that's it for the free agents this week, partner. Let's just go right into the next segment and keep it on rolling.
So you ready for this?
I'm ready, man.
Are you ready for this?
You told me what we're going through this week, and now I'm ready this week. Last week you caught me off guard with a new segment. This week I'm coming, brother. I'm coming.
You got to swing for the thing. You had a pretty good. You had some pretty good arguments.
I held my own.
You held your own, but as Mike Wilbauer would say, "Hey, I win." All right, let's get into this.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
It is the segment that we call Head to Head. And Andy, first up, I'm going to ask you, with all of the mass changes that's been going on in the AFC West, real easy. Who wins this thing, man?
This is going to be the best division of football, Steve. There's no question about it. But my decision might surprise you a little bit. I actually think that the Vegas Raiders are going to come out of the West. Okay. And here's why. All right. First of all, they just picked up the best receiver in the National Football League. Okay. Derek Carr had a great year last year. All right. He had an outstanding year. He just, didn't have what he needed at the end to get past Cincinnati. But they've improve their defense. And their defense was one of the best defenses in the NFL as well. I think that with Josh McDaniels going in there and having a chance to work directly with Derek Carr, nobody else but me is probably picking the Raiders out of all of these options. But damn it, Steve, you know me. I love to pick an underdog. And I'm going to take the Raiders out of all 4 of these teams. I know you're not happy with that choice, and I know you're surprised by it, and I know you're not picking the same team. But you asked me, that's who I'm going with. Sticking with the Raiders. I just believe that they're going to be a really good football team. They're going to be extremely well coached, and I think the schedule is, favorable for them as well. I was taking a look at that also. So there you go. I've got Carr and the Raiders. Who you got?
Well, it's really not a bad pick. I mean, I'm not gonna poo-poo your pick.
Okay.
I'm just not gonna agree with you.
I knew that.
Okay.
This wouldn't be a segment if you agreed with me. Come
Absolutely. Last time I checked, there's a guy named Patrick Mahomes that resides in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I know people, you're saying, well, they just traded Tyreek Hill. But did you see the plethora of picks that they got in exchange for him? And that just kind of catapulted them in a position to get, let me throw a name out there.
Okay.
Okay? Let's say, what if Kansas City goes out and drafts, say, Garrett Wilson from Ohio State? Would you think that was a pretty good trade-off?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's kind of where they're going, and until they make a move, Kansas City is still a team to beat. Let's not get this twisted. Okay, we had this discussion all last year about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anybody not named Patrick Mahomes, okay, you are following, you are trying to catch up. That is Patrick Mahomes, and it's the rest of you guys, because all the rest of you guys, the rings and things that you sing about, Patrick Mahomes can bring them out.
I'll tell you what, Steve. This is how deep this division is. Okay, Russell Wilson has won a Super Bowl, has played in 2 Super Bowls, should have won 2 Super Bowls, right?
Yes, threw an interception on the goal. I remember that.
I understand. Well, the play call. It was one of those.
It still threw it.
I understand that. However, he now has an offensive line that can keep his ass off the ground. Yet nobody's picking Denver. That's all I'm saying. Let it play out. We'll see. We're gonna have a lot to talk about next year. There's no question.
It's gonna be fun. It is definitely gonna be fun.
All right, where you want to go next?
So, head to head, are the Indianapolis Colts better with Matt Ryan now that they've traded? Walk it to him, Carson Wentz, W-I-N-C-E.
All right, I know this segment is supposed to be arguing, right? But
Right.
I'm not an idiot, Steve. Come on. Matt Ryan is an improvement at the quarterback position over Carson Wentz. It doesn't matter if it's Indianapolis. It doesn't matter if it's Washington. It doesn't matter if it's Cleveland. It's Matt Ryan, okay? He's going to the Hall of Fame, all right? He's going to be in the Hall of Fame because of the numbers that he put up in Atlanta as far as their franchise history and the fact that he's won an MVP. He will be in the Hall of Fame, okay? Carson Wentz is a pass-around quarterback. You need a quarterback? Here, try Carson Wentz, okay? Absolutely, without question, they are better. And I dare you to tell me otherwise.
The rings and things that they sing about, Carson Wentz can bring them out. Okay? And Matt Ryan had his chances. We saw what he did in the Super Bowl. We saw it. Oh, yeah. You see that? You see that sweet? That's called sweet victory. That is called Super Bowl. Ain't that what you strive for? To win that thing? But what did Matt Ryan do? What did Matt Ryan do with a 28-3 lead?
Okay, but
in the Super Bowl.
The reason he held this trophy was because another quarterback won it for him.
Yeah, but he got him there.
I'll give you that. Isn't it ironic that both of them played their Super Bowl against the Patriots?
And one won and one lost. One gave up a 28. We talking about 28-3. And you know what? And And they traded him on the 28th, didn't they? No, it should have been. That would have just been too
that
good.
would have been too good. That would have been way too good. You know, we're on the 26th. We're not there yet, but that would have been immaculate.
All
All right, where we going next?
Well, okay, so here we go. Head to head, are you buying the possibility of Odell Beckham returning to Cleveland?
Yes. Okay? Yes. You laugh all you want. You can say whatever you want. I'm telling you right now, the way that thing ended did not sit well with either Odell or the Cleveland Browns. And I'm going to tell you one caveat as to why this could happen. Okay? And this is a big if right now because they already said no to what he asked for. But since they got Deshaun Watson, if they bring back Juice, and I'm talking about Jarvis Landry, okay, these two are inseparable off the field, all right? If they bring back Landry, there is a very strong chance that Beckham would follow. And, Steve, when his former teammate, Johnny Johnson, mentioned this earlier this week, Beckham didn't shoot it down. I'm just saying.
Odell also didn't shoot down him going to the Colts. I heard that as well. Andy, where is he playing right now in that picture? What game is he playing in?
Inside.
And what is the game that he's playing in?
In the Super Bowl.
There you go. That's why the hell he ain't going back to Cleveland. Have you looked outside right now? It's freaking snowing out there. If he goes outside now, it's 70.
Why you got to ruin my Saturday? I can see it out the window. You don't need to remind me, okay? Stop reminding me about this stupid shit. I'm trying to get ready to play golf, and it's 35 freaking degrees outside.
It is crazy, man. I mean, it was, you know, it is what it is. It's Ohio weather. Wait 5 minutes and it'll change.
All right, we got one more before I get to the NHL wrap-up from the trade deadline, right?
Okay, what you got?
All right, this one right here. Okay?
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake. But my question to you in the head-to-head, does Baker Mayfield start for a team in the 2022 season? Because my answer is hell no. And you tell me one team that looks at him and says,
yes,
that's our starting quarterback.
He will start. It may not be at the beginning of the season, but Baker Mayfield. Man, Andy, everybody seems to forget. Around August, in camps, when quarterbacks start getting hurt, when the reality sets in that, hey, my quarterback ain't as good as we thought it was. We need to start to look elsewhere. Okay, who is prime option number one? And let me just throw this out here. May God forbid you if you release Baker Mayfield. And then you'll find out how good he is. Because the Pittsburgh Steelers will pounce on his ass in a moment. In a heartbeat, they'll jump on him.
The one thing I want out of this whole scenario is for that not to happen. Because I do not want to see Ben Roethlisberger 2.0. Okay?
Because he will stick it to you.
I don't care if Seattle says here's a 6th or a 7th. Just get him out there. Just get him away. Do not cut him because the Steelers will be the first team knocking on. They're probably knocking on his door right now just waiting for it to happen because they don't trust Trubisky, and who would? But, you know, but Seattle with Drew Lock, Steve, I mean, they have to say, okay, Cleveland, what's it going to take? 5th, 4th? I won't go any higher than a 4th. Is that good enough? Here you go.
Yeah.
Just please send him to Seattle. I do not want to see him in black and gold. That's all I'm going to say. So, real quick, I know we got to get the sound off, but I just want to wrap up the NHL trade deadline this past Monday. To me, there were two gigantic moves that give both of these teams a chance to win a Stanley Cup. First and foremost, the Florida Panthers go out and get a 1,000-game veteran, a captain of the Philadelphia Flyers for the last 19 years, and Claude Giroux. This guy is an outstanding teammate. He can still score the puck, Steve. He's an outstanding playmaker as well, and he's a great penalty killer. Can help him on the power play. That was major. Florida could be one of the favorites in the East. I'm sure they are already. But we'll get into that as we get closer to the playoffs. And then to me, this was as big, if not bigger, because of how stacked the West is. Marc-Andre Fleury gets a chance to go for another Stanley Cup. He goes to Minnesota and has a chance to play with Kaprizov and the Minnesota Wild. And I think he instantly is an upgrade at that position. I know Cam Talbot was an all-star this year, and he's had a great season, but you can't pass up a Stanley Cup Hall of Fame caliber goaltender who still has something left in the tank.
Well, he was definitely on the struggle bus in Chicago. Chicago didn't waste time chipping his ass up.
No, but Steve, in his defense, they didn't have a blue line to help him in front, and that's why his numbers look pretty bad this year. But but I think he's got a great blue line in front of him in Minnesota. They can score as well, and they're very well coached. Watch out for the Wild. But right now, if I had to pick, I'm still sticking with Colorado. That was my pick from the beginning of the season. They made a couple of moves at the deadline to solidify that pick for me. There was talk that Fleury could go to Colorado, but they want to ride with Darcy Kemper, and he's earned that right by the way he's played this year. So there you go. Those are the two biggest. There were 33 total trades, the most ever in NHL trade deadline history. Check out NHL.com if you want to see all of those. All right, partner.
So here you go. What you got?
End of the show. It's time to sound off.
What you got, brother?
All right, listen. You went off on your Cincinnati Reds last week, okay?
With good reason.
21 days till opening day as of last night, because I drove by the ballpark when I went to the hockey game. And it was just a reminder about this idiot, okay? That is Paul Dolan. That is the worst owner in the history of Cleveland sports. Yeah, I said it. Everybody wants to say Art Modell. Everybody wants to say Dan Gilbert. No. This asshole is by far the worst. You know why? Because, first of all, look at that logo, okay? I think a sixth grader drew it, all right? All you did was slide different letters in front of a previous logo and change some of the font, all right? Second of all, you changed my team. That is the name of the team in Cleveland. That is not the name of my baseball team. They are the Cleveland baseball team because I grew up with the Cleveland Indians. Okay, and the Cleveland Indians should still be the Cleveland Indians. If you look at the history as to why that name came out in the first place, you would understand there's absolutely nothing offensive about it. Okay, they actually named the team after a Native American. Oh, all the liberals out there that want to say otherwise, maybe if you read some history, you would understand that. Okay, just look at this atrocity. Look at this shit. That is an embarrassment to the city of Cleveland. Okay, you know what else is embarrassing? Our payroll. It's the second lowest in the entire Major League Baseball. Second lowest, Steve, $35 million. That's it. You know why I know Dolan is the worst owner ever? Because when Dick Jacobs owned this team, he spent whatever it took to try to win a World Series. Manny Ramirez, Jim Thome, Charlie Nagy, the list goes, Sandy Alomar, Roberto Alomar, David Justice. He brought them all in. He paid them whatever it took because he was trying to win a World Series. This guy's trying to keep money in his pockets, all right? The city of Cleveland does not deserve that, okay? We have two other owners that are at least trying to win, okay? You are not, and you know why I know not? Because now this guy might be on the trading block. That is the heart and soul of this franchise. That's Jose Ramirez. That is your best player. That is the only reason you could even sniff competing outside of your pitching staff in this division this year. And now you want to trade him? Oh, guess what else is happening? If you buy a ticket to the home opener, which, guess what, Steve? 2 months ago would have been sold out by now if they were the Cleveland Indians, you get to get another game for free. It's a buy one, get one here in Cleveland. What a goddamn joke. Seriously, sell the fucking team if you don't want to spend the money. I'm sick and tired of your ass. Get out of Cleveland. Nobody wants you here.
Boy. Yeah, I guess you went there.
I went there. And I'm not afraid to go there again as this continues on.
I tell you what's kind of got stoked my ire is these text chains that I get people who include me in because I am a sports analyst. And just because you formulate a emotional soliloquy, you want me to sign off on your soliloquies. Well, this week I was included in the text chain. I think you were too as well.
I was. Yeah, I was.
To where it was LeBron and Michael Jordan, and they were debating who the greatest of all time was. And I refused to get into the debate because I have told you time and time again who I think is number one without a doubt. This guy, man, I mean, the most dominant player to ever play the game. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's domination. No one's ever scored 100 in the game. I mean, you can just stop the presses right there. Stop the presses right there. You know, and then you want to say that he never played against the greats? Well, you know, freaking Bill Russell was pretty great. It don't get much greater than that guy right there, man. That guy, how many championships he got? I think he's got 11 championships in 13 years. But Andy, look at this. And this all brought me to go because I saw Kevin Durant, who had a thought. He said, you know, as confident as I am in my game, and we are in our game and the way the game is played now, 100 points is hard to get. That's hard to get. He said that's like some zoo stuff, man. You know, and so it got me to go back and look at points scored, most points scored in every decade throughout the history of basketball. And if you look at it, this is not even close. This is not even close. I mean, the great Kobe Bryant somewhat came close, and he hit a plethora of three-pointers. There was no three-point line when this man dropped a Honda. You know, the closest one to it, as great as a shooter as Steph Curry is, all he's got is 62. I mean, are you kidding me? The great Michael Jordan only had 63. Where is LeBron James on this list?
He's not on there.
People, don't call me with this nonsense asking me to chime in on who the greatest player of all time is until you score 100 points in a game. And they change the rules to accommodate you 5 times. Then I'm done talking. And I drop the mic there.
And we're done with another show.
Man, I tell you, it's been so fun, man. You stayed to the end. Hey, make sure you like, you subscribe, tell us about what you like and what you don't like. You know, hey, look, we still working this thing out. This thing only gets better, and it gets better with you. So, Andy, until next time.
We wish you love.
And we wish you peace. Deuces.